Here we go. Okay, so I'm recording. This is Ken and Moshe. So I'm in Florida. Moshe is in Haifa, and we're going to do a Parshat Shavua Zohar class, Israel, United States connection with Sofer SeTaM, Moshe Guy, famous Chabad Sofer of Haifa. And that's the introduction. And Moshe, you could take it from there. I think there is a Parshat Shavua this week in the Zohar, which there was
yes,
not.
We have, of course. And it's Parashat Shoftim V'Shotrim. But I want what is important, I think, that we'll try to connect because we are on Sunday. Good evening to all the audience.
The whole world.
And all the world. And I think that because we are on Sunday and we are coming out from a very important Shabbos, this Shabbat Parashat Re'eh, and we're starting now Parashat Shoftim. This is a very important Shabbos because Re'eh is the initials of Re'eh Elul Higia. The initials of the word Re'eh Elul Higia, see, you have to look that Elul is coming. This week we have Rosh Chodesh Elul, yes? Rosh Chodesh will be on it will be in Yom Chamishi and Yom Shishi and Friday.
I think it's a Thursday night. It's got, if I'm correct, it starts on Wednesday night, the 19th, and then it's on.
Yeah.
It's 2 days. It's 2 days.
2 days exactly. Between the 19th and the 20 and the 21, the 2 Rosh Chodesh, 2 days of Rosh Chodesh. And actually, this Shabbos, Parashat Re'eh, the last Shabbos we're coming out from, I want to say a few points, very important points, and then to come to Parashat Shoftim and we have to see the connection because now we are between these two Shabbos. It said that until Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, until Tuesday, it's getting the blessing from the last Shabbos. And the days to come are blessing the next Shabbos. Actually, the week is between two Shabbos. Shabbat Re'eh, we're now between Re'eh and Shoftim. So if we'll say a few words about Re'eh, and then we'll talk about Shoftim.
Beautiful.
He says in Parashat Re'eh we saw on Shabbos that Re'eh Anochi noten lifnechem hayom bracha. Where we know this word Anochi, where this word is familiar from. This is the first word of the 10 Commandments. Re'eh Anochi. When you see in everything in your life that Hashem is here with you, in your business, in your work, in your when you walk, when you're working for sport or doing sport, or you're meeting with your family, when you're learning, when you're davening, everything you do, Anochi Hashem Elokecha. It says Re'eh Anochi. When you see that Anochi, everything you go, you see Hashem in front of you, then noten lifnechem bracha. You're going to get a really big blessing. This is the first point. The second point of the Parashat Re'eh, usmachtem lifnei Hashem Elokechem. The translation to English is, you have to be happy when you're in front Hashem. And what we can understand from it, that if you want to know if you're in front Hashem, face to face with Hashem, you have to see if you're a happy guy. You're happy with yourself. You're happy with your life. I mean, there are things that are missing for sure. Everything always can be better, but I'm happy. If I can say that I'm happy, it can mean that it can say that actually I'm with a good connection with Hashem. And you can say in another way that if you want to be in front of Hashem all the time, you have to be Ivdu Hashem b'simcha. You have to work Hashem with joy, with simcha. This is the second point. The third point I saw in the parasha that is very important is it's talking about not to eat the blood. Just be very strong not to eat blood. And Rabbi Shimon ben Azai is saying about it, he say, we have to understand how much we have to get strong, to be strong with the mitzvahs. Because blood is something that usually people it's disgusting to drink blood. I mean, who can drink blood? So the Torah says you have to be very careful. Okay, who wants to do it at all? But from this we understand that there are things that are harder for us. So we have to know how much we have to get to be strong with the commandment that Hashem gives us. Another point, he says, Shmor v'shamata et kol hadvarim. And he learns from here that we never know how much Hashem appreciate what you're doing. You never know. And it's something that Hashem, how you say, conceal, he's hiding it. Right, Rabbi Abraham? It's something that is hidden. We don't know how much Hashem is paying for mitzvahs, kashrus, for mitzvah tzitzis, for mitzvah mikveh, for mitzvah birkat hamazon. We don't know the price that Hashem gives for every mitzvah. But what it says here that you have to be careful. In Hebrew, we say you have Adam tzarich liot zahir b'mitzvah kala kev'chamura. You have to be very careful in a small mitzvah and in a big mitzvah. And the word zahir in Hebrew, it's like zahir. It's like Zohar. It's like flash of light. When you're doing a mitzvah, you don't have to measure if it's a big one or it's a small one. You have to be full with light, full with energy when you're doing it, because you're sending a present to Hashem, and it has to be with energy, with joy, with simcha. Mm-hmm. The sixth point, we said Re'eh Anochi. Who said Anochi? He said Moshe Rabbeinu. He said 600,000 ragli am asher Anochi bekirbo. And when you say Re'eh Anochi, we have to understand that Hashem gives every generation. He brings Moshe Rabbeinu in this generation. We have to know that every generation has his Moshe Rabbeinu. And what we're saying to Hashem, Re'eh Anochi, we want to see Moshe Rabbeinu. It's not enough that Moshe Rabbeinu is somewhere, a righteous man that is hidden in the mountains. No, we want to see Moshe Rabbeinu. We want that all the world will see Moshe Rabbeinu. And the last point I want to talk about from Parashat Re'eh is the very, very beautiful sentence, Banim atem laHashem Elokechem. Every one of us, every Jew in the world is called the son of Hashem, Son of God, every one of them. And the Baal Shem Tov says that every Jew is so important, is so tired, we say in Yiddish, yes, is so precious in Hashem's eyes. Like, I know a family, you know, Abraham, I know a family that he was waiting for a child for 17 years, more than 17 years. And then at the end, Baruch Hashem, she got pregnant, and of course, it was with many medical treatments and so. But at the end, they had a child, and this was such a. You can imagine how important it for this couple after 17 years to have a child. Mm-hmm. So here the Baal Shem Tov says, please, what did you say? He said, for Hashem, it's every Jew in the world, even if he's very, very far from Yiddishkeit. But he's very, very precious to Hashem, like this son that was, and more than that, Le'en Aroch, than this son that was born after so many years to this couple. Everyone, don't forget, whatever you do in the world, don't forget that you are Bno Shel Melech Malchei Hamlachim. You're the son of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And I want to connect this this parasha with Parashat Shofitm that we're going to start the Zohar, but a small story that there was many years ago. Chassid, yes, he was riding on a horse with his carriage, and he saw a goy that his carriage was in the mud, yes, drowning in the mud, and he couldn't take it out. So the goy shouted to the Chassid, "Hey, come here and help me take the carriage out." So the Chassid said, "Listen, I can't do it." And the guy answered him, "You can, but you don't want. You can do it, but you don't want to do it." And that's what we're saying to ourselves, that we can, this month, this Elul, we're coming in this week. The Elul it's written that Yud Gimel Midot HaRachamim is lightning in the world. These 13 midot, it's like 13, how you say, parts or influences attributes. Of mercy. How you say?
They call them attributes. The 13 attributes of faith or mercy. Is this it? Attributes. Attributes. Things that attach. Okay.
They are lightning in the world. And the king that is the Kadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem, is like in the field now. Everyone can come and say, "Listen, I need this, I need that."
Yes.
Or just to look on the king, to be excited from the presence of the king, that he's coming out from his palace, and he just is between us, like one of us. So this is the Hagdama, the beginning. And now we'll come to our parasha, that the first word of the parasha, yes, is Shoftim. The Zohar says, Shoftim v'shotrim, titen lecha bechol sha'arecha, asher Hashem Elokecha noten lecha. You have to give, you have to put Shoftim. What is Shoftim? Judge. Yes, and Shotrim, it's cops, police. Why? Because if you have judge and you don't have police, So everyone will do whatever he wants. You have to force the people. You have, and that's what the Torah says. If you want that the country, the people will behave like they should, according to the law, you have to have law from one side, and from the other side, you have to have these policemen that will take care that the laws are mechabdim, that are respected. And what it wants to tell us. So I saw here a very interesting thing that is talking about this Shoftim v'Shotrim. He says here that Shoftim is learning Torah. If you want to know what to do, what Hashem wants me to do, you have to learn to know what Hashem wants me to do, what He wants me to do in the morning when I wake up. To say Modeh Ani, to wash my hands in a special way, right, left, right, left, right, left. To say Birkot HaShachar, to put tefillin on. I need to know what to do. I don't know how can I know what to do? You have to ask the judge. The judge is actually by learning Torah. And after you're learning Torah, it's not enough because you have to have a policeman that will take care that you're going to do what is so important to do. And you are actually the policeman. And that's what he says here, and that's what he says here by the Shach. Hashachar HaTorah, Siftei Kohen, says here that Shotrim titen bechol she'arecha. What is she'arecha? Rabbi Abraham, this is your gates.
Your mouth?
Exactly. You have 2 ears, 2 eyes, yeah, 2
nose
in the nose, and 1 in your mouth. You have 7, exactly 7 places that actually the world is going into your consciousness.
Is that what that means?
But you have to put policemen.
Police at your gates, police in your mouth, police at your nose, police at your ears.
Exactly. To hear what you need to hear, to look where you're allowed to look, to smell what you're allowed to smell, and to talk what you're allowed to talk, and to eat what you're allowed to eat. You have to have these policemen, and this was the Shach, Siftei Kohen on the Torah. He's telling us, Shoftim v'Shotrim, titen lecha bechol she'arecha. You have to put it to take to be very careful about it.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I heard about that, but I didn't really remember it.
Yeah, I think it's very. What?
A lot more work now.
That's a lot of work. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. Now, Rabbi Abraham, to go a little bit forward and
go. Where are you going now? How far?
I see. 1 minute. Okay, we'll try to say what the Zohar says and try to understand the Mirza Hashem.
What section are you going to?
We'll continue from the beginning now.
Okay. All right.
And we'll try to understand.
Go for it.
He says here, Shoftim v'Shotrim, תיתן לך בכל שעריך אשר השם אלוקיך נותן לך וגומר, ופיקוד הדע, מני שופטים ושוטרים. You have to know that every town, every place has to have judges and policemen. I mean, it says in Pirkei Avot, אם לא מוראה של מלכות, איש את רעהו חיים בלעו. If there's no judge and no policeman, it's going to be a big mess. ועוד, כי אלוקים שופט. Ki Yud dechushbanei kaf. What does it mean? If you take the first letter of Hashem, it's Yud. And how you write Yud in Hebrew? You write it in 3 letters, Rabbi Avram. Yud, Vav, Dalet. And when you calculate Yud, Vav, Dalet, yes, in Gematria, you get 20. And that's what the Zohar says. Ki Yud choshbanei kaf. Kaf means 20. Bataracha ki Elokim shofet, זה ישפיל, וזה ירים דבביו. פיקודה בתרדה, לדון בסייף, לדון בחנק, לדון בדין סקילה, לדון בנשרפה, לדון בסייף למען לסמכה, הדאו דכתיב כי רבתה בשמיים חרבי, הנה על אדום תרד. חרב דקות שבריחו, יוד רישה דחרבה, וו גופה דחרבה, טרן פיפיות דילה. He says here that the sword of Hashem, you can see in the sword of Hashem the 4 letters of Hashem.
Okay.
How? And he says here, and this is actually the 4 letters of Hashem are hinting us on the 10 spheros. Yes?
Okay.
It's known that Yud of Hashem, it's against the wisdom. Hey of Hashem, it's against Binah. Yeah, it's understanding.
Yeah.
Vav Shel Hashem is against the feelings, the heart. And Hey, the last Hey of Hashem, it's Malchus. So how can you see it in the sword? In the way the sword is built. So he said Yud, it's the place that you you catch the sword with. Yes, this is the Yud. Yes.
The place you what the sword with? Touch
when you hold the sword, when you hold the sword in your hand, the place you hold the sword with, this is the wisdom.
To the handle.
This is the Yud.
Okay.
Because a person, he's controlling himself or moving himself by his wisdom. Yes, like the sword that you take it to the right or to the left. In the place you're catching the sword, it's the Yud of Shem Hashem.
Okay.
The Vav is the sword itself.
Okay.
And the 2 Hey, the Hey Rishona v'Hei Achona, the first one and the last one, is the piyot shel hacherev.
It's a little confusing.
You have the body, Rabbi Avram, you have the body of the sword, yes?
Yes.
But the body of the sword can be from wood, for example, or from plastic.
Okay.
That means that the sword is not, doesn't have to be a weapon. It can be a game. But when you're talking about this sword, it's a weapon.
Right.
It's something that can really cut. And what does it need to cut? And that's what the Zohar says, tzedek, tzedek tirdof. You have to be very, this is from the parasha, we see it in Pasuk Kaf, he said, tzedek, tzedek tirdof, leman tichyeh. What does it mean, tzedek, tzedek tirdof? You have to to look for Beit Din Yafeh. Beit Din Yafeh means for if you're going to to a trial, you have to look for really righteous judge that will sit there and will refer to your problem. And that's what he said, tzedek tzedek tirdof. Why? Because if you have Beis Din, you have Rabbonim, you have people, judges in your town, and they're not so clever or not so wise or not so righteous, and you have to go to someplace else, then try to do it. That's what he said. That's what the Torah advising us. And tzedek tirdof chatchin tay dinin, dina mipit bedin del ela, ודין מפי בית דין del tata. ומאחר השתמודה, אין אדם לוקף אצבעו מלמטה, עד שניתן לו רשות מלמעלה. It's very interesting. He says that when you look on the sword, Rabbi Abraham,
yes,
put it, yes, there is the sharp side that is above, and under there's another sharp side. There's two piyot, and this is hey and hey. The body of the sword, it's vav. The place you take the sword with is yud. The sharp side, from above, it's hey. And under, there's another hey. Yud K, Vav K. And why we need two sharp sides? He says here, an Adam nokef etzba'o milmata ad shenitan lo reshut milemala. We have to know that everything that happened with us, first of all, there's the judge up there in the higher worlds. And they say, we are saying, we decide that we'll have good life, we'll have health, we'll have parnasa, we'll have, and so. And then down in this world, when you go and you have to get advice or you have to do something in the world, then this is the hey tata, the hey from down.
Yes, it makes sense.
It's a very important, Rabbi Abraham, it's a very important sentence. En Adam nokef etzba'o milemata ad shenitan lo reshut milemala. Nobody can do anything in the world without the permission from the higher worlds. He think he's doing something. He think he is deciding something, but actually nobody can do nothing without the okay that he gets from the higher worlds. Because think that everything you're doing in the world is influencing so many people. I mean, think about Prime Minister, yes? He decided that he's doing something. It influences hundreds and thousands of people. It's impossible that it be from his decision. It has to be something that comes from the higher world.
Okay. So we can make one of these swords?
I don't know, but maybe. Oh, yes, he says it. This is the continue. The Torah says, and בקריאת שמע, השם חר בדקות שבריחו. He says, by saying Kriyat Shema in the morning and at night before you go to sleep,
yes,
you're killing. It's like a sword that you're using to kill all the bad energies.
So now you have
please, Avram, what?
We have extra ability to make a stronger sword because this part of the Zohar explains the connection to make the sword with the Yud K Vav K and how it works, how we hold it. So now when we say the Kriyat Shema, we can introduce the sword to extra destroy the bad things.
Yeah, you can say that. In the merit of Rabbi Shimon that we're learning from his Torah, of course, he will help us to destroy all the enemies, the spiritual enemies. Yes, the bad energies, the bad. So
But you
yes,
have to know that now you have the sword. Before you didn't have it. Now you have it. You know how to hold it. You know you hold it with the yud in your henti, and you know the bati, or the sharp part is the hay on both the top and the bottom, and the length of the sword is the vav. So
the
we
vav,
take this. So
the
we can
vav
create
looks
this.
like the body.
So we could create it because now we know about it, and then we can have this extra kavanot meditation with the Kriyat Shema that we could use this sword because now we know about it.
Yes, excellent. So let's try to finish this part, Rabbi Abraham.
Thank you.
And he says here, Romemot, and that's what he says in Kriyat Shema. We're talking about Kriyat Shema before we go to sleep. We say the three Parshiot, Shema, Vayem Shamoa, Parshat Tzitzit. Actually, there are 248 words in the Kriyat Shema.
Right.
And it says it's like Romach. Romach, it's like, you know what Romach is, Rabbi Abraham?
No.
Romach is something very sharp you're throwing. How you call it?
A knife. I don't know. A sharp.
It's not a knife. It's a long thing, something like 2-3 meters, and you
spear.
throw it.
A spear. A javelin.
Exactly.
They call the javelin in sports. A spear.
Javelin, spear. It's exactly Romach. This is the 248 in Gematria. This is Romach. It's the number of the words you have in Kriyat Shema, and the power is to make this like sword and to get rid of all the enemies, the spiritual enemies. And that's what he says, Alay Tmaro Memot El Bigronam Vecher Fifiyot Beyadam. By saying Kriyat Shema, when you say Romemot El Bigronam, when you praise Hashem with your throat, yes?
With your sound?
By this, it's like a sword in your hand to kill all the bad influences, bad energies, and so on.
I think that's very important. I think this section of the Zohar, which explains the Kriyat Shema, is connected to the positive commandments, 248 positive commandments. In addition, 248 body parts. In addition, tied to having the sword. I think it's very important.
And we can finish in a nice thing the Zohar says here, that something is missing. We had the Yud, the Vav, the two Hey. It's what the sword looked like, but there's something missing. The cover of the sword, the thing you put the sword in. Right, Rabbi Abraham?
You have to teach me this. This is very complicated.
Yes.
I don't.
So it's not so complicated. And that's what the Zohar finishes, and it says, "Tzadik Chai Almin, Khalil Chai Birchan, דבי עדני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך בעל חרבה בן ארתיקה וחמת המלך שכחה ומתעברים תחי שמעה." He says, how do we start praying? עמידה. השם שפתי תפתח ופי. When you take the initials of this word, you get the word ishto, his wife.
Wife.
Hashem Sfatai Tiftach Upi. These the first four words you're saying in Amidah, the initials of these four words is Ishto. That means his wife.
Okay.
And actually, when the sword, you put it inside its cover, yes?
Yes.
That means that's actually, then Hamat HaMelech Shachacha, the king, you are making the king, he was mad before, he was very angry, but now, after you put the sword inside its cover, yeah, Ishto, it's a whole yichud between Mitchabrim Trenchman, these two holy names, Yudke Vavke and Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, are getting together, and there's a lot of shefa in all the worlds. All the worlds are get good things from above. Shefa boche v'atzloche. Rabbi Avram, this is for today. It's a beautiful part, and I think this is something we can think about, we can work with.
Help me with
to get all the good, or to get all the good influence from.
I see it. Help me with the last part of that connection with the Amidah. I didn't follow it. Where is this in the Amidah?
If you take the Siddur, Rabbi Avram.
I have a Siddur. This is my Siddur.
And you have it in Hebrew?
I have it in Hebrew and English right there. I'm holding.
So please open Amidah, 18.
I have.
Open 18.
Yes, I'm looking at it.
The first sentence says, Adonai sfatai tiftach ufi yagid tilatecha. Right?
Yes. Right when you, before you bow to say,
Baruch.
Correct.
So look the first four letters of the four words. Adonai sfatai tiftach ufi.
Yeah, I got it.
The initial of the word ishto. Aleph,
wife. Wow.
His wife.
Okay.
And actually the cover of the sword, it's like the wife, it's Adnei. It talks about Adnei. And we talked before that the sword is Yudke Vavke. So we're getting together Yudke Vavke and Adnei. And when it gets together, there is Shefa Gadol in all the world, Rabbi Avram.
Thank you.
Let us have a good week and a successful week. Mirza Hashem, and a healthy week.
One more point. I'm going to say l'chaim. If you could see it, this is my cup of coffee. It's still early in the United States. I can have coffee. We shall use this good energy and light to add a fire to destroy, which I will use the word samech men. Samech men. Okay?
And Mashiach now, Avram, we have to finish with a good thing, not about bad things.
Okay, so
let us hope that the Geulah will come before Rosh Chodesh.
So we have this opportunity, we have this bubble of goodness. We just have to keep it getting wider to push all the darkness away. So fine.
And we have the way. The way to do it is by saying Shema Yisrael at night.
Create the sword, Shema Yisrael at night. Have that sword remove all the judgments, and then the sword gets
and
put
to get it together with Shmona Esrei. When you say Shmona Esrei in Ma'ariv, you actually get together Yudke Vavke and Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, and this is when they get together. It's a
union,
finishing the darkness and bringing light to the world, bringing light to the world, Rabbi Avram.
So just as a final sentence that I will say is what it is actually doing is the opportunity is to have the sword destroy everything. You make the connection, from the Yud Ke Vav Ke to the energy of Malchut, which is Elohim, and you bring the mercy to Elohim, and then you put the sword away, and you're okay. Baruch Hashem.
Yishar koyach, Rabbi Avram.
Okay. It was a beautiful lesson. It was very, very, very good. Okay?
Baruch.
Thank you. All right, Le'itraot. Have a good week. Shvuah tov. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.